Yes, the rumors are true. This is not a great movie. Listen, I had heard all the bad things about this movie going into it, and honestly, I had no interest in seeing it in the first place. The only reason I even saw it was number one, just out of curiosity, just to see if it was as bad as everyone said it was, and also number two, for the sake of this review. But yeah, this one, this one's rough. So the first thing I would like to point out about this movie is I think Supergirl herself was miscast. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Millie Alcock is like a bad actress necessarily, and obviously this is a very different take on Supergirl than maybe we're used to. They wanted to make her messy, they wanted to make her edgy and all raw XD. This ain't your grandmother's Supergirl. Now, there's been a lot of buzz around the internet talking about her looks in particular. Some would even go as far as to say, like, she's an ugly choice for Supergirl. Now, I'm not going to spend time talking about her looks because I feel like it's just kind of taking a cheap shot, and honestly, it's kind of mean.
Do not bully people.
I personally think, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna hate me for this because it's such a cliche casting at this point, someone like McKenna Grace would have been a great choice as Supergirl. I mean, honestly, I did not like her character until after she put on the suit. Because for the entire movie up to that point, especially with her wearing the trench coat for like 80% of the movie, she just felt like Star-Lord, felt like Starlady. But then once she put on the Supergirl suit, I was like, oh, okay, like that's Supergirl. I just hate that, we had to wait all this time until the last 10 minutes of the movie to finally see her in the costume. And as mentioned before, yes, a lot of this movie felt like Guardians of the Galaxy. And I knew that after I had first seen the trailers that came out for this movie. I was like, she's wearing a trench coat. She has a pair of orange headphones. Music plays a large role in this movie. This movie takes place in space. There's a lot of weird aliens and spaceships, even down to like the title cards they would use to introduce every planet. Again, it's like almost until the very end of the movie where she finally puts on the costume, I felt like I was watching some spin-off of Guardians of the Galaxy, like Star-Lord's like rogue younger sister. Now, one of the main things to know about this movie is it is boring, which honestly kind of surprised me. But oh my gosh, there were so many moments where I nearly fell asleep in the theater. Like, yeah, once it got to the action scenes, it would kind of pick up a bit. But that being said, a lot of the action scenes were just your kind of generic sci-fi action scenes, like nothing really innovative or nothing that really pushed the envelope. And honestly, it really only got exciting whenever Lobo would show up, which was definitely one of the highlights of this movie, Jason Momoa as Lobo. I can't lie, Jason Momoa is like perfect casting as Lobo. And I thought a lot of his action sequences, especially when he was on his bike, was really cool. Another highlight for this movie being basically whenever Superman would show up. Now, David Cornsweet as Superman is slowly growing on me. He is a charming Superman, I'll admit. But I think one of the performances in this movie that stood out above all the rest was David Krumholtz as Supergirl's father. And what was so crazy is that all of his lines were in Kryptonian. I had no idea what he was saying, but in the short amount of time that he was in this movie, he brought so much emotion to his character. And I was like, wow, finally we're getting some acting chops in this movie. But yeah, like some of the writing in this movie, oh my gosh, some of the dialogue was just so bad. Which I can't necessarily say I'm surprised because the writer of this movie only has one other IMDb credit. Like, what? She wrote some short film like all the way back in 2018, and that is her only other writing credit. And DC decides to give her the keys to a superhero blockbuster. And what's so crazy is that this Supergirl movie, I don't think was really in the original plans that James Gunn had for this DC slate of movies. But he went on record as saying, like, when he saw this script, he thought it was incredible and it was like one of the best story pitches he ever heard. And I was like, wait. We're talking about this movie? Like, we are talking about the same movie, right? Because honestly, like, the main story points were just, like, so generic and, like, things that we've seen 100 times. One of the main characters in this movie, this girl, I forgot her name, but, like, her main motivation in this movie is the bad guy killed her family, and she's out to get revenge against the bad guy who killed her family. I'm like, how many times have we seen that? Like, wow, somebody out to get revenge against somebody who killed their family. Like, wow, never seen that one before. And then what's Supergirl's main motivation in this movie? She's trying to save her dog? Like, are we serious? That's the best we can come up with? That's your compelling story? And speaking of the villain, not compelling at all. Not interesting at all. I'm like, man, y'all couldn't have even picked a DC villain that, like, anybody would know. He was like Killmonger. He was just like a whatever villain.
Overrated as fuck, in my opinion.
Now, I did want to point out one scene in particular, and this is toward the end of the movie, that just made absolutely no sense to me, and this was a big reflection on the writing. So, in the end, Supergirl and the other girl, forgot her name, get the upper hand on the bad guy, forgot his name. And the girl, who again is seeking revenge for the death of her family, has a sword to the man's throat and is about to kill him. And Supergirl does the cliche traditional superhero thing where she's like, no, like, don't kill him. This isn't the way. Like, revenge isn't the way. It's a dark path that leads to nothing, yada, yada, yada. And so the girl decides not to kill him. And I'm like, oh, okay. Kara is helping this girl become a hero. Like, she's teaching her how to be a hero. Like, this, okay, like, this is cool. This shows an arc in even Supergirl's character. And then she's like, you know, come on, like, let's go before you change your mind. And while all this is happening, Lobo is like on the top of a hill. He's watching the whole thing. And I'm thinking at this moment, you know, Kara is gonna like give the nod to Lobo of like, hey, he's all yours, you know. And I thought Lobo was gonna maybe like tie him up in his chain and take him away, or maybe Lobo would just like air him out on the spot. But then it's like, as they're walking away, Supergirl picks up the sword, turns around, and kills him. And I was like, I'm like, okay, so you just sat here and made this whole speech to us, the audience, and to this girl about how to be a hero, about how revenge is not the way. And then here you are killing this man, saying to his face as he bleeds out, this is for my dog who you poisoned, and this is for the girl and her dead family. And I was like, okay, so never mind, she didn't learn her lesson. Nobody learned their lesson. So yeah, overall, I mean, this movie was just kind of just whatever. And like, I wasn't necessarily opposed to a Supergirl movie. I feel like it could have been done a lot better, for sure. At this point, I just don't have any high hopes for DC. Yeah, but don't worry guys, we're gonna be getting that Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd series that you guys have all asked for. Oh. Right? Right? So, what one of you asked for that, right? No? Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your thoughts on Supergirl in the comments below. Hope to see you on the next one, and as always, catch you later.